So. What's good, everyone? What is good? What is good? This is Artist of Truth, and welcome to a to another vlog. So, before I even start into today's discussion, um, like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe. This information uh, should most definitely continue to get out to the rest of the people. Most definitely leave your comments below. But Ronald Greene. Okay, so you're asking who is Ronald Greene? So back in May of 2019, state troopers in Louisiana, for some reason, were trying to stop this brother, Ronald Greene. Now, Ronald Greene apparently ran from the police for what reason we still don't know. Um, the information that I've been listening to and I came across did not involve any sort of drugs, no guns. It was just something like a minor, a misdemeanor, traffic and whatnot. But for whatever reason, something occurred to which it triggered Ronald Greene to run from police. Now, again, there wasn't any speculation or assumptions of drugs, weapons, anything of that nature which would deem officers to step in and arrest him. But of course, in any case, we're talking about Ronald Greene, a melanated brother uh, whose family was actually told that he died in a car accident. And even the written reports, even the sorry about that, even the written reports stated that Ronald Greene died upon impact. Now, this investigation had been going on. This situation had occurred before George Floyd. But body cam footage was being suppressed pending an investigation. Now, mind you, by now, this type of thing should have already been corrected, which it shouldn't be a surprise to Americans about this type of travesty. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play I'm going to play this video for you all. And I'm gonna let you just watch it for yourselves. All right. So let me just go ahead and put this in here. Straight trigger alert. Cause it triggered me. I won't even lie. It damn sure enough triggered me. It triggered me a whole lot. So let's go ahead and I'm going to play two different reports of this. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so y'all don't want to play his video. Thank you. You catch it now. They clearly stated that it was leaked. That means 9 times out of 10, they had no intention on releasing this video footage. Now, look look back at his vehicle now. Now I'm no investigator or anything of that nature, but common sense would say if he crashed and that was the Louisiana State Police report that he crashed. Okay. Normally if someone was to crash, if they're running from the police and they happen to crash, usually you would have some sort of frontal damage here. But as you can see, it's a lot of side, rear on the driver's side damage, which questionable, like very, very questionable. But let's go ahead. All right. So you all have seen more than enough of that. So My response to all of this, okay? My honest response. And mind you, I don't what his sister the moon says, I'm so glad it's just enough. You know what, sis? I won't even lie to you. To to hear it is like it's more. It's just more depressing, but you're more desensitized to this information. You know what? That's okay. We let me see. Because I really and truly need people to hear. I need people to hear exactly what's going on. So yeah, you might see this up on, up on the screen, but for the most part, try not to get frustrated with me. I'm still getting the hang of this StreamYard and whatnot. But shit, man, for the most part, when I tell you, I came across this video like this morning, and I listened to it and I listened to it, and I was just like, this type of thing is just like unacceptable. And furthermore, it just goes to show you how police, they cover up a whole lot of things. So I'm going to play the CNN version from Kumo from my phone. Hopefully you all can hear it. Louisiana, like with Floyd, the killing was shrouded in lies for years until now. The video had been held pending investigation. We'll get into what that means. There were no people around, like with George Floyd, who pull out cell phones, but the officers did have body cams on. And what you are about to see is known to police, maybe other officials. Here's the situation. 9 years old, was chased by state troops in the middle of the night while driving. Now, all we know about what led up to this is that police wanted to pull Greene over for some sort of traffic violation, or so they claimed. And they say he ran. Well, there's certainly a pursuit. A lawsuit by Greene's family claims that police told them he died instantly in a car accident after hitting a tree. At least that's what his mother was told by one officer. He hit a tree. The Associated Press obtained what it says is about 46 minutes of the body cam video. So far, it's only posted a little over 2 minutes worth, but it goes a long way. It is disturbing, and as always, I give you the option that it's hard to watch. But you know how I feel about this. If you want to deal with the reality, you got to face the reality. And it starts with the moment that troopers tase Greene through his open car door after the chase. Here it is. All right, now what you hear there is, I'm sorry, I'm scared, I'm your brother, I'm scared. That is Greene's voice. First of all, what does that tell us? He is not dead on impact. Now, once he is out of the car, a second video shows Greene forced to the ground, punched repeatedly, and tased again. Here it is. Now, my, mind you, uh, one of the officers got blood on him and made the remark of, um, I hope this son of a bitch doesn't have AIDS.
At the end, that's the officer saying, I've got blood all over me. I hope this guy ain't got bleeping AIDS. Then the audio is cut off. So we don't know what else is being said. But we can see. And this next clip, I would say that you should watch the lower left side to start. Okay? A trooper uses his foot to force Greene to lay face down. You see what's happening here? Okay? So he's got him laying face down. Remember his cuffs. You can see the cuffs in the lower left-hand corner. He's not going anywhere. Then this, a few moments later. You ankle cuffs on him. They get him on.
So from the previous video, well, not the previous video, from the few minutes before, I showed you didn't catch the sound, but you could see where Ronald Greene was cuffed by his ankles. And one of the state troopers grabbed the cuffs by his ankles and was dragging him. Mind you, I don't know what in the hell is in their protocol granting them the right to just do stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure that's not even in their protocol. But you are mishandling someone who actually needs aid, and you're not rendering aid whatsoever. But again, they said that he died on impact, right? By hitting a tree. There's no damage on the front of that vehicle. So obviously, the troopers ran him either off the road into a tree, which I think that's exactly what happened. But let us continue.
Drag him by the ankles. The AP reports Greene was then left face down for more than 5 minutes. I know that number is haunting. You remember it from George Floyd. While troopers use sanitizer wipes to clean the blood off their hands and faces, they don't do a thing to get Greene medical aid.
Wait now, there's more.
All that in mind when you learn how the state police regularly describe what happened in their initial containment areas. The pursuit ended when Greene crashed his vehicle. Greene was taken into custody after resisting arrest and a struggle with troopers. A short time later, Greene became unresponsive and was transported to Glenwood Medical Center. Greene died while en route to Glenwood Medical Center. What is left out of that? Everything that you just saw. Nothing there suggests the car crash is why Greene died.
So what the doctors say though?
Doesn't really capture.
What does the doctor say is the funny part.
How he was dragged by his ankles when he was ankle cuffed behind his arms. He was tased repeatedly. Did he just become unresponsive? The AP also obtained a medical report. An ER doctor wrote that when Greene's body reached the hospital, it was bruised and bloody with 2 stun gun prongs in his back. The AP says that the doctor questioned troopers' initial account that Greene had died on impact after crashing into a tree does not add up, the doctor wrote. The state police don't want anyone putting the video out there, they say, because of the state and federal investigations that are still underway. 2 years, no charges, all this body cam video. Isn't that a lot to go on to have this protracted a period of analysis? And add this to the mix.
So it's a little disordered, but I'm going to read you exactly what this trooper said. Trooper admits beating, choking Ronald Greene. And these are his words. The voice of Trooper Chris Hollingsworth, Louisiana State Police, source WAFB. And I beat the living fuck out of him, choked him, and everything else, trying to get him under control. We finally got him in handcuffs when the third man got there, and the son of a bitch was still fighting and was still wrestling with him. And we tried to hold him down. He was spitting blood everywhere, and all of a sudden, he just went limp. So, guess what surprisingly happens to this trooper afterwards, after he made that statement? I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Official would not be helpful. Now, it would be helpful to talk to that trooper about the events of that night. But he is also dead. He was killed in a single car crash in September, reportedly not long after learning he would be fired for his role that night. Tonight, a state official with knowledge of the Greene case tells CNN that state police were investigating this incident as a criminal matter the night of the event. That source tells us in their words, the narrative that he died from a car crash, I don't know where that came from. This has been a criminal investigation since day one. So then, not just the officers at the scene, but obviously investigating officers, and maybe that means other public officials, have been aware of this video for this long, and yet it has never been made public because it was necessary for the investigation. This long, all that video, no action taken. Does that sound right? CNN has reached out to the other officers' attorneys to comment on the video. We're waiting. Right now, I'm joined by Ronald Greene's sister, and Ron Haley.
So that goes even even further. But now now you know. Another reason why I feel pr- police protections um police protections have been in existence for a very long time. There I can't recall offhand because I briefly read that there was an old bill that still stands to this day that actually creates protections for police officers uh from them being charged and uh held accountable. And of course, this sort of thing is just being covered up. They're saying, "Oh, well, we're still investigating." And my thing is, so your investigating takes 2 years. I mean, Demona says what he said didn't make sense. They clearly had no training. If he had to do all of that just to get him under control, that officer was out of control and out of line. I totally agree. I totally agree. That officer was out of control. But furthermore, when the officers, they said that they wrote up the report that he died on impact. Lie number one. They said that they told his family he crashed into a tree, died on impact. Really, technically, that was lie number one, and then lie number two. Lie number three came in was when they took him to the hospital and he was already dead on arrival. And then the doctor is like, well, if he died from a car accident, how did he end up with two prongs in his back, bloody, and he had all of these bruises on him. That's another lie. So, and then you have an officer who is now dead, glad of it, because karma's a motherfucker. Pardon my language, but it needs to be said. Karma is real. So what you do to others, you get back. So if he died in a single car accident, too bad it didn't disintegrate and burn his body, burn his bones and his and whatever else he had left. But in either case, you heard it for yourself. So my thing is, how much is too much? How much is too much? When is okay? Enough is enough. Because when you start hearing about this cop being shot and that cop being shot and this, that, and the fifth, you know what? They put the whole country on a state of emergency. They put the whole country on alert, like, oh, cops here and cops there are being shot. We have to have an extensive investigation. We have to be tedious. We have to be, alert and aware and this, that, and the fifth. They talk all that good talk. But then when you have officers, who are, for one, they escalate situations. Two, you got a lot of rogue, dirty ass police officers. You got some dirty cops out there. And furthermore, you have cops who are planting drugs on people, violating people's rights. And it's like there's no level of accountability whatsoever. They want to give officers, they want to suspend them, or they want to fire them. And when you fire them, 9 times out of 10, all they have to do is go to another county or another state. And regardless of what their background is, you got a lot of chiefs that will still turn around and hire them. And I'm not even going to lie. In this case, they need to start from the head and work all the way down to the officers who were actually there and they played a part, co-conspirators. Because when a person commits a crime and they have, and they have a party, those parties are considered co-conspirators. You know, they are they are there. They didn't do anything to stop this travesty from occurring. So they should be held accountable as well. But to sweep it under the rug and draw out this long investigation, and not only have you lied to the family about how he died, but then you want to sit on the video evidence. And see, this is another reason why I laugh at people when they talk about, well, we can't defund the police. I was like, okay, so you don't want to defund the police, but you still want to continue to let them do whatever they're doing, and then there's no real accountability. Personally, I feel the only way the only way you can get these overseers in line and in pocket is if you strip them of any forms of protection. If you strip them from any forms of protections, meaning you violate someone's human rights, you violate someone's civil rights, you just violate people, period, and you're not operating within the parameters of your teachings of the code. Then at that point, it's no argument. It's like, no, not only should he be terminated and all of his benefits just be given to the victim, but put his butt in prison. I guarantee you, the rest of the officers in this country, when they start seeing this type of thing, it's one or two things that's going to happen. Either they're going to tighten up and they're going to do their job effectively, or they're going to quit. A lot of times, the cowards are the ones that quit because they understand, oh, shoot, I can't do what I want to do to people anymore. I can't violate their civil and human rights because now I have no type of shield. I don't have anything to protect me. So I'm in a vulnerable state now. I'm vulnerable, meaning of which if I violate someone's civil rights or human rights, guess what? They can and they will come get me. So what's going to happen is no different than what happened here in Atlanta when the two young melanated teens were snatched out of their vehicles during the Atlanta riots, how the officers snatched them out and just physically assaulted them. And Keisha Lance Bottoms was like, oh no, we're not even going, no, we're not even going to do that. And she banged him across the head. You had a lot of officers that were in their fucking feelings about that shit. You had a lot of officers that were in their feelings. You had some officers that actually quit. And I won't even lie to you. It's like, shoot, you quit, my friend. If you quit, you are a coward. Thank you. Thank you for proving to the rest of the world that you weren't really and truly a good cop at all. You were a rogue, dirty ass cop, and you exposed yourself. Thank you. So, personally, I feel if they start, so I hear people saying, well, we shouldn't do away with the police and this, that, and the fifth. I get it. That is a stretch, but furthermore, I would not take that off the table. I wouldn't. I would not take it off the table because why? For one, you have a significant amount of people who own guns. Okay, you do. You have a significant amount of people who own guns. But furthermore, I feel as multiple communities should be able to pull together and designate or elect individuals who are actually going to stand on code and do the job that police officers are supposed to do. Because you got a lot of police officers out here, they saying, well, we're here to serve and protect. I'm like, what are you serving and what are you protecting? Because if this is your version of serving someone, that you are violating their human rights, their civil rights, and you do this type of thing for some, but you're not doing it for all people, no. They need to get rid of you, point blank period. They need to do away with them. And I mean, if you don't want to do away with police officers, which I understand other people's point of views on not doing away with police officers, defund them. Defund them, period. Start hitting their pockets. I guarantee you. Yeah, you're going to have a plethora that's probably going to quit. And I look at them, I'll be like, all right, I'm glad you're quitting. I'll be like, because you're one of the individuals that do not stand on your code. You don't stand on your morals. You don't walk into a situation where it's basically all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You don't do shit like that. You don't abuse your power just so you can, just because you have protection. And then, of course, when you start hearing about police officers being gunned down in the line of duty, then you see the whole police precinct, the whole union come out, and they're going down the highway, the roads, and everything, like like this was a president that died. You know, it was a president that died. But these are the same individuals. They can honor a fallen individual. You can honor another police officer, but you cannot honor, you know, you cannot honor. You, my son is driving me nuts right now. I'm gonna tell him, hey, get away from the door. So I feel they need to, you know, so it's crazy because we get to this point where even one of my brothers was telling me, he was like, man, we need to stop putting ourselves in these situations where these officers are doing these types of things to us. And I told him, I was like, I totally agree. I totally agree. I was like, but at what point do you actually say, okay, well, if I comply, you know, I mean, hell, Sandra Bland complied, and you see what happened? She was murdered, but there was no one held responsible for her death. They was like, oh, she committed suicide. I mean, Eric Garner, they sat up there and 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 reverse chokehold this man to death, even though New York has it clearly listed that reverse chokeholds are illegal and not accepted. So it almost comes off as if they make the rules, but they can break the rules as well, and there's no accountability whatsoever. So you know, in any sense, something has to be done. Something has to be done, or you're going to start seeing a whole lot of police officers being gunned down because people are just going to be like, you know what? You don't value our life. Why should we value yours? You know, I believe in an eye for an eye. You know, you take away my son, you take away my daughter, you take away my significant other, you take away someone in my family, and it wasn't even justified. Okay. I got to give you back this same energy. I got to give you that back. Period. You take someone from my family, I got to come to your household. I got to take somebody. I got to take somebody. And you may not like it, but now you know exactly how I feel. You think that it wasn't right. Hey, yeah, I thought how you handled Brother Ronald Greene was not right. They didn't de-escalate the situation. They escalated the situation. And then they turn around and lied about it. But furthermore, they drag it out to the extent to where they hoping that, this type of thing, we can keep this under wraps and we can keep the heat off of us. Nope. And again, whoever leaked out that video, I commend them for doing so, because a lot of these police precincts, they need to be exposed. A lot of these officers, they need to be exposed. You saw the body cam for yourself. You didn't hear any of the officers trying to de-escalate the situation. They kept escalating the situation, which resulted in the death of a man. We've seen plenty of videos where where these pigs get out here and they have interaction with one of their own. One of their own pulls out a knife and happens to stab an officer. You know what? They don't shoot and kill that officer. I'm sorry. They don't shoot and kill that that assailant who has assaulted the police officer. They'll watch, they'll watch him run, and then they'll go running after him. They'll have some sort of domestic dispute, and then officers pull up and they'll see this Caucasian, they see this pig walk out the door, and the pig is slinging around a doggone axe or machete. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, y'all haven't shot him yet? Y'all haven't shot him yet. But furthermore, what I love that they love doing this is they want to start talking about, well, his mental state or her mental state, but they don't take that into an account when they're dealing with indigenous and melanated Americans. They never take that into an account. It's solely about, well, he ran. But we don't know the real reason why Ronald Greene ran, other than he was scared. And he was in the middle of nowhere because there weren't anyone around. No one was around to even record what happened. It was just a body cam. And as you can see, the body cameras were being sat on purposely. They saying, oh, it was an investigation, but you sat on this shit since May of 2019. And of course, they weren't trying to even touch on it or even release it, which is why they lied to this man's mother by saying he died in a car accident. Everyone from the chief, from the head on down, needs to be charged with lying under oath, and they need to be charged with this man's murder because you played a part. You knew what they did was wrong. You knew what they did was totally and completely out of pocket. Now they're solely relying on the DOJ to pass down a formal judgment on that case. Come on, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. But, in closing, I want to say it's sad. It's a very, very sad situation. But for me, it has it has somewhat desensitized me to an extent because I feel that you have elected officials who have been in politics for far so long, and they're just sitting back twiddling their thumbs. They're not doing enough. And I feel personally that this whole George Floyd bill, it needs to be pushed much more than what it's so far what it has been. um I hope that Ronald Greene gets the justice that he may rest peacefully, and his family would be able to seek real justice. It's like, because Louisiana right now, their police, their state with their troopers, yo, they need to go ahead. They need to go ahead and just they need to tear that damn thing down. They need to tear it down. They need to start with the chief. They need to have his head on the chopping block, his head or her head, whoever's head it is. They need to have them on that chopping block, and they need to start locking these clowns up. It's like, okay, well, this is how you feel. Well, this is how you feel for the rest of your natural life. So you won't have any badge or tasers or guns or billy clubs to actually protect yourself. No, because you will be placed in population amongst other men. And then at that point, who cares? Because you already know what they're going to do to him when they find out, oh, he a cop. Oh, you're not going to have a peaceful night's sleep in here. We're going to catch you. And that's exactly what they should do. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I just wanted to share that with you all. Again, it's sad, a sad situation, but it just goes to show you that that whole narrative about, oh, well, there's good cops and there's good cops. All cops are not bad. There are good ones. I'm just like, okay, where the good ones at? Where the good ones at? Because the last cop that I knew that was a solid good cop was Christopher Donner. Christopher Donner. And if you don't know who he is, I recommend you just checking into who he was and why he did exactly what he did. He's a hero in my eyes. That was a good cop. And the LAPD knew he was a good cop. And this is why they sabotaged and tried to tarnish his name as well as his image. Yeah, I understand a lot of people felt like he took multiple lives of innocent people because a lot of them were police officers or they were descendants of police officers. I was like, well, hey, the good got to suffer with the bad, right? Hey, that saying holds true. They say the good got to suffer with the bad. I was like, well, hey, keep that same energy. A lot of, a son and a daughter life was taken because they were associated with a police officer. They were related to a police officer. He did what he did. I don't even blame him because I'm just like, hey, you've been doing this to other people as well. And then when this man goes through the necessary chain of command to expose the flaws within the LAPD, they turn around and they drag him. They tarnish him. They make him look like, oh, he's a terrorist. I was like, no, he wasn't the terrorist. The LAPD is the terrorist. You have a lot of police precincts that are in this country that are harboring terrorists. I don't care if they were. I don't care if they were born here on American soil. You're still a terrorist. You are just a domesticated terrorist. That's exactly what you are, and that's what police officers, that violate their oath, lie under oath, and utilize their shields to protect themselves and their level of corruption. That shit is about to get dismantled. And a lot of you dirty road cops are y'all in for one hell of a rude awakening. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, listening, and continue to leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. I always do. But as always, start off your day, your Monday to come. Start off your day with positive energy, protecting your peace. You know, um, sometimes you just need to flip that switch off from social media and the outside world and just sit in nature. Rebuild yourself, stay grounded, and protect your peace. All right. So I love y'all. I will talk with you all soon. Believe that. All right. Believe that. It's it's all love here. It's all love here. So I will talk with you all soon. All right. Let's get out of here.